new friend, Winter. Come here, Winter. Come here, Winter. Come here, Winter. Come here, beautiful. Come here, beautiful. Come and get some. Come and get some. I'll give you some. I'll do your ears. Yeah, she loves her ears. She's a beauty, and there's a beauty right behind her named Tiger. He's a 10-month-old kitten, and he's already leading pledges of honor. Uh, he's blessing this house with kills. He's a tiger. He's a beast, and this dog is absolutely wonderful. And she had a brother who was shot. Oh yeah, he came in and he had bullet holes and he died. And I'm gonna find out who did it and pay him back. Uh, Trust and believe it. Okay. What I'll use is oodles of marijuana or methamphetamine to seduce people into talking, and then I'll find out who did it, and I'll serve them. For those of you who don't know, my name is Dan Quinn, and in reality, Joan Quinn and Doris Weaver, I'm a 5-star general in the criminal community because of my word and my honor and the fact that I'm a beast. I knocked Sack Maniac Taz out on 8 West 300 Pod, ladies, and they were chanting my name, Dan Quinn, Dan Quinn, long after I was gone for like 2.5 hours, according to Bryce Peeler, and that was the Nuestra Familia Norteños, the guys that run it, Joan, okay, Mexico at its finest. Mexican, you know what they say about Mexicans? Mexican, not can't, all right? They get shit done, they control things, and I'm friends with them, Joan, and I talked with them about doing you when we were having our little conflagration, you trying to steal my kids, because we were doing methamphetamine. Sure we were. Many people do. And we were going to school, and I had a job, and you were a cunt, and you lied, and you lost your mind, and then you accused me of sexually molesting my son in the shower, and his angry response, my daddy don't touch me like that. When the caseworker asked him, guess what? I stopped loving you at that point, Joan Quinn, and you became a hindrance because that's what you've been in your entire life. Irrespective of the fact that you beat me with Hot Wheel tracks over and over and over and over and over again as you're admonishing me for some thing that I had done wrong, okay? The fact that you sucked Fred Reva's cock, R-E-V-A, Fred, Encinitas, California, house builder extraordinaire. You suck his cock long after he's gone. And you know what? He handcuffed me to a tree on my tiptoes with my hands high over my head, prostrate like Jesus, and left me there for 4.5 hours when he and Harry Heisler said they would release me immediately. They just wanted to show me how it felt, for those who were tortured like that. Harry Heisler, who has a deep guttural German accent, long, when it would be gone, if he came over when he was 13. He was a plant. He was part of the German exodus, the Nazis. He had money. He was the major contractor on Grand Coulee Dam and had a house on stilts overlooking the ocean on what beach? Corona del Mar, was it? It must have been hard growing up as a little girl and seeing that and seeing what could have been, especially since Doris got it. The fact she had to deal with Fred, who was a fucking mutt, M-U-T-T, extraordinaire. The fact that he came out of the bathroom at several parties and said, Danny, what are you doing here? I thought I'd just flush you down the toilet. And instead of gas, because I was the supreme athlete, even at that age, I was getting gold ribbons at sprints, blue ribbons for first place when we had blacks in the field. And I was the fastest, and I was the fastest ever since I've been a little kid. When I was flying a kite, Joan, one time when I was like 8 or 10 years old, and I was flying a kite, and something went wrong, and I said, nigger, nigger, nigger. And this big black kid chased me around and couldn't catch me for like 15 minutes, and finally he did. And you know what he did? He spanked my tummy and said, don't call anybody a nigger. everybody can be a nigger, okay? And you're not part of the clan. He didn't know that at 8 years old, I cried myself to sleep because I couldn't be like Muhammad Ali, brown, okay? I could be like him in his hand speed, which is true. I have exceptional hand speed for a white boy, for anybody. I eclipse blacks on a regular basis to the point where I'm the dominant one in the ring, and people are trying to take me down to get away from my hands. Rick Vardell, uh, I tell you what, let's have a fight, Rick. You and me, hands only, no kicks, and you're just punching, and I will fucking mop you up like I was gonna do in our super heavyweight title fight, where Herb Dean, uh, Dana White's house nigger, stopped it because he knew if I stood up one more time, you were done. The fact they've cock blocked me and put my face in their little webpage, TMZ saying that I threatened to fucking shoot, kill, stab Dana White when I did nothing of the sort. I didn't even have his number, and the voice was obviously Irish or English, and yet a similar thing happened with Placer County. Someone called the bar and said they were Dan Quinn and they were going to come and rape, rob, and pillage. And so instead of sending detectives like Sacramento did and would the Sacramento sheriffs and the police, they sent a fucking tank rolling in and disturbing the neighbors, and I ended up getting kicked out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to file a suit in civil court against Placer County for it coming at me with a tank and scaring the neighbors and potentially help getting me kicked out when I did nothing wrong. And I'm going to file a suit against them for $2.5 million in damages, and we'll see where the chips fall. Okay, what I'm going to do is file a suit against Fred Riva posthumously because he was a bastard. He handcuffed me to a tree for 4.5 hours to where there were red welts because the cuffs bit into my skin, and he would have gone to jail, Joan Quinn and Doris Riva, and had to be in protective custody because people don't like those who hurt kids and animals and such like that. Fred Riva was a punk, and Fred Riva had help from Harry Heisler's crew, who were Nazis. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sue Fred Riva for $2.5 million and take your house that's overlooking the beach or the ocean or wherever it is. I haven't even been invited. The fact that I would have had more money than Fred when I was 21 years old and at Notre Dame, charged with an attempted rape, it proved it never happened. The priest testimony, it was silent when he listened at the door. 5 minutes after everybody left the party, we turned the stereo off, pretending we weren't there. So when he knocked at the door and said, Dan, are you in there? We went silent. And their story was the stereo was playing so loud that our cries for help couldn't be heard, when in fact, every freshman on that floor knew that Patsy McGowan was gaga looking at me like starstruck because I was a star. It was a party thrown in for me, okay, because I had returned and I was the king of boxing with my picture posted up all over campus with my hands raised and Pernell Taylor looking like a defeated Mike Tyson. I'll tell you what, Mike, 10 pounds of icky sticky is going to come dry. So when you put it in a tub of water to aerate it again, it's going to come back even heavier than a pound. It's icky sticky, 32% THC. It's going to be 10 different pounds to fight me let's do 5-minute rounds. Let's make it a championship, okay? You're not going to last but 2. Okay, what I'm going to do is kick you and pest you with lightning fast jabs and powerful right hands that will catch you like they did Harry Gopal when I fought him. I caught him with a lead right hand and I caught him with jabs repeatedly, and then I hurt my right hand and my left arm wasn't working because it was cold, and Cal Worsham told me, quote unquote, that there were jet heaters all around the cage and a tarp and they were emitting heat And in the cage, instead of ice cold environment, which was a no-no for my shoulder, that I just had surgery on it, and it wouldn't work if it was too cold, which it was. I'm going to land punches on you, Mike, and you're not going to see him coming because it's too fast. I'm like Ali. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut you down and I'm going to fuck you up. Okay? Cap you, knock you out. You're done. Give me 5-minute rounds. I'll pay 10 pounds of marijuana. I'll tell you what, that's $160,000 if you sell them at $100 an ounce. Okay, $160,000 with Mike Tyson's name on an ounce for $100 when they're going for $150 because they go zing when you smoke them. Okay, that's how willing I am to put my body at 57 years old in the line of fire to get stevia as the cure and marijuana as its better, bigger, sweeter, younger brother. They go together like magic. C-Bomb Lapua almost knocked Dan Quinn out, but he has so much stevia and weed in him that it's almost impervious. I was in McDonald's in West Sacramento with a black friend of mine that I just bought a phone for because he was going to sell methamphetamine for me at $40 per gram, making over $1,100 or $1,300 per ounce when I get them for way less than $100, especially if I buy a kilo, which I'm going to do through Spiders Connect when I go and see them in Florence, Colorado. After we're going to have a sit down, hopefully I can bring a spread, pay a local restaurant to do it up because he deserves it, and he's opening his family to me, or his business, and I'm going to tell him that I would like to become Nuestra Familia NF and program with them instead of the whites if I ever get locked up again. I admire the rigid system, of excellence, and I want to be a part of it. I don't want to have the black can tattooed on me. That's Mexican Mafia. But NF, for Nuestra Familia, it would be an honor, gentlemen. And like I said, my name is Dan Quinn. My credentials are impeccable. I get fronts of up to a quarter pound of dope. And back in the day, when that was unheard of, because I paid my debts. And I didn't have to because I had a steady clientele and I was making money. Joan Quinn, when you took Sherry and I to kid court trying to steal my kids, do you know how close you came to dying? Okay, how we were going to do it was send you a all expense paid trip to Mexico, which you would have to take because you're such a fucking cunt. You're always wanting to go out of the country and have fun. And when down in Mexico, you would be met by operatives of the cartel. They would disappear you out of my life forever if you had gotten my kids. And that would have happened guaranteed. Or we would have done it indirectly. I would have been in Reno or Las Vegas, on video. And you would have disappeared from life on this earth from a gunshot wound to the head, guaranteed, if you had stolen my kids. What put them through what you put me through? I think not, lady. I think that you're a cheap bitch, that you could have bought me a McDonald's, no, not McDonald's, top of the line Kentucky Fried Chicken meal, the meal deal, okay? It's like less than $50, 46 or something like that. You could have done that in my first night here, especially because there's no food in the house, because she just got back from being in jail and all her stuff was taken because friends had stolen it, so-called friends. What I'm going to do, Joan, is find these people and have them return everything, or I'm going to have them fucked up and cut off from the dope. Straight up, I can do that. I'm a 5-star general. Ernie Holman, who's 5-star in the Bloods, he runs them. We became friends through traffic court, not even anything connected to gangs. He saw me verbally battle as a judge and win, and he thought, you know what? This kid has fucking guts and determination. And he walked into the parking lot while I was smoking marijuana in my car, and I saw him sniff, 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 sniff. And I wonder where that's coming from because it smells good. and I invited him into my car, and I knew we would become friends. I didn't know that when he told me he was 5-star in the Bloods, that he was. He was the leader. Who knew? Who could tell? He didn't fucking play act, and he didn't say it. Uh, and I'm friends with Riley Prysock, who you know. He's a ranking member on the board of the Crips, Joan Quinn. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get Ernie and Riley together and come up with some new rules, like no weapons outside your house from here on out. It's only in home defense. And if you have a problem with somebody, instead of shooting them or worse, take it to a cage and handle it. Yeah, that will mean people will have to get into training and learn hands. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to give select people that I know the same treatment that I gave Scott Smith when I gave him hands and he became Scott Hands of Steel Smith instead of some punk getting beat down by Jamie Hara, which would have happened if we hadn't practiced that same 8 seconds, 9 second scenario every day in the gym for damn near 8 weeks. I said Jamie's going to come out swinging, 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 swinging. So what you do is you cover up and you hunker down, ready to punch. And as soon as he stops, he's going to look and see why nothing's happening. And at that moment, you launch a right hand and a left hook, and it will be over. And he did that and knocked Jamie out in 9 seconds and broke his occipital bone. He was doing what I wanted to do, but didn't have the opportunity. Okay? I broke it down, I saw it, and I created it, and it happened, Dana White. And what's going to happen is I'm going to pay people to slash your tires over and over and over and over again through marijuana or methamphetamine and make your life a living hell, Dana. You won't be able to get anywhere privately. You have to take a bus or an Uber. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. For you fucking with me, punk, the fact that you said I called you and it wasn't me, but they blasted my picture up all over. The fact that you've held back from giving me an opportunity to be in the UFC when everybody likes punchers. They love Randy and Chuck. I tell you, I fucked both of them up back to back, punching straight up right now. I don't care what shape they're in. What I'll do is I'll smoke lots of weed and take lots of stevia to give me energy, and I'll come out and I'll punch, punch, punch them down like nothing. They won't see my hands coming. I will do it over and over again. I will cut them up and knock them out, guaranteed. Whatever it takes to get stevia famous. Oh, and by the way, I'm a little fat right now. I went into the hospital at 210 and on purpose ate my way to 285. So when I got out, I could take a picture, a video of how fat I am, and then get on stevia, Joan Quinn, and melt down. And the fact that my stevia got thrown away by a schizophrenic at Mustafa's house when I told him to keep an eye out for it proves that he wasn't listening to give a fuck. He's a slumlord extraordinaire. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to sue him for assault and battery. He actually slapped me in the fucking forehead with a punch. And then what he did is he kicked me in the stomach in the parking lot and tried to knock me down. And I was so taken aback that he would even try it in public, and much less in front of residents and his de facto number one in Anthony, who he condones punching and bitch slapping. He condones violence, Joan. He's bitch slapped me. Can you see a mark on my right side? It's a little discolored and there's dry, dead skin. That's where my bitch punch. When I was sitting on the couch, that's how he does it, okay? He hits you when you're not looking or when you're on the couch and you can't defend yourself. And he'll stand there, and say, what, you want some? Instead of giving you a fair chance. So what I'm going to do is give Mustafa and Anthony a fair chance at a fight in a cage or on an island. Hopefully on an island. There's somewhere where they allow it, where it can be a fight to the death, and I'll eat them. I've been looking forward to eating long pork or humans ever since I read about it as a kid, and I would do that. I would kill them and eat them if they were only source of food. I would beat them back to back. I could beat them 2-on-1. I don't want to take the chance I'm going to hurt myself or get wrapped up and have a long, drawn out fucking bullshit battle with hands, I destroy them. Uh, Mustafa kicking me in the stomach and then karate chopping me to the solar plex, and I didn't even bat it. It didn't bust a grape. I thought, what a pathetic genetic little defect who should have been never born, because in Darwin's world, in truth, his short little soft arms and his belly, he's a genetic defect, food for Darwin's world. He's eaten, okay? He doesn't survive. His parents should have been spayed and neutered to prevent the lump of genetic shit that ended up him when she shat him out of twat in childbirth. Okay, he's a nothing. And Anthony, even worse. Anthony is a discredit to his fucking race. He's an elder abuser that should go to jail for punching Tommy in the eye. And Tommy is a 80-year-old in a wheelchair, trapped, can't get out of it, can barely make it to the bathroom, is crippled beyond repair. And Anthony actually punched him when he was sitting down, okay? The fact that Mustafa condones it, I'm going to end up owning that property, and I'm going to end up kicking Anthony out onto the streets or get him in jail for elder abuse, and then I'm going to get at him with my friends and get at him, okay, to the point where he cries himself to sleep at night for his fuck up and fucking with Dan Quinn. So it's like this. My number is 916-470-1994, okay? Party like it's 1994 when I was doing dope and knocking people out at the Embers, the Titty Club in Sacramento, hanging out with bikers. Jimbo Galloway and Andy Elliott, two friends of mine that I want to call me so we can reconnect and reestablish what we had in the past. The fact that I'm going Cartel Connect, Jimbo, you could have access to Pure and not have to go through the bullshit of dealing with Cut. I do that for you, my friend, in a second, because I can and I will, and I'll make it happen. So to Jim Galloway, he's a retired cook. He's actually cooked for the Hells Angels before, Joan Quinn. I told him about my idea of sending you an all-expenses-paid trip to Mexico when you couldn't pass it up because you're such a little twat that always wants to be on vacation and living a life, and having you disappear forever out of everybody's life because you're such a nuisance to it. Fact, not fiction. Why the fuck not? You're a menace, and you're no good to anybody but yourself. You're a selfish, money-hungry bastard that even sucks Fred Reva's cock after he's dead and gets mad at me for bringing up the fact that he handcuffed me. You defend him. The fact that you told me, oh, and Doris looks at her watch and says, are you almost done? When Fred's pumping away, trying to dump his seed in her twat, and he got ass hurt over that? How close did you guys get, Joan? That's what I'm wondering. How close did you guys actually get? Because Fred shouldn't be sharing things like that with you if you're not naked. And you were enamored with Fred, okay, and jealous of your daughter or your sister. The fact that you told a kid that, none of his business. How many other things did I hear that I shouldn't have about Doris and Fred, to the point where Doris was thinking about divorce but couldn't leave the money? Yeah, so I've covered a lot of things. They're all true. I'm going to sue my mom for $10,000. I'm going to buy a new Kalani, and I'm going to use that other $5,000 to buy over 100 pounds of marijuana and give it out at $600 a pound to people who deserve it. Give them a come up with $2,300. They can smoke and still make a profit, especially for Christmas. help with the bills. That's how Dan Quinn does it. He shows up with Kentucky Fried Chicken and he gives pounds of dope away for $600 because he can do that and he wants to make life better for everybody, not just a few, Joan Quinn, you selfish fucking money-grubbing bitch.